We got your 6
at 6 a.m. with The Link on Breeze 93.9 FM. Bree and I connect you with all the latest news and information you need to know to start your day.
Then check back with Guam's news leader at 6 p.m. for the day's top headlines with KUAM News Primetime.
From 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and everything else in between with KUAM Digital, we got your 6.
We got your 6
at 6 a.m. with The Link on Breeze 93.9 FM. Bree and I connect you with all the latest news and information you need to know to start your day.
Then check back with Guam's news leader at 6 p.m. for the day's top headlines with KUAM News Primetime.
From 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and everything else in between with KUAM Digital, we got your 6.
Ja uli die sombranza mak et zu ita saluda antes di niga Radzaudzan malak estrezas durante todo a nogi distancia como kupugi palu zangiman malak guafi ikonum nasugi airi prebatu la noci nai banderata gaigi pues atan fanni bandera kau esta pagua pumalapa gilo tanu man libri sentami ti man ko badi
Samoru purita nota kantai matu nanyagi todu ilugat parai honra parai gloria abibais la sin parat parai honra parai gloria abibais la sin parat todo y tiempo y paz para hita dan gini langit na bendition Conchai peligro na fan sofuham Zeus protegis languahon Conchai peligro na fan sofuham Zeus protegis languahon
Ay sinati untungu Tagi ningo puthogu Jatiwa choka hau zangin Undingu Lohuli hogi panyu Zahan lagu gi matamu Zahapata tu maski pabel sangan Lo tu hongi telu Na ponna puti du na pogu Ni wahu gagagi magagi fionmu Apu magiga pagam Sabil sangon ni isturam Sahabu zahu Apu magiga pagam Sabil sangon ni isturam Sahabu zahu Ai sinati unhongi Nai kura sonhuku makati Ai puthogu Ai lohogu itelu Ai magoi tin hasu Na puthogu tu na neni na mafatu Long na kloru giza guahu Zan magoi na tizamu Zabel hana zani na anu na junhumu Apu magiga pagamu Zabel sangan ni suram Sahabu zamu Apu magiga pagamu Zabel sangan ni suram Sahabu zamu Apu magiga pagamu Zabel sangan ni suram
Yeah, you gotta let that one play.
Apu magiga pagamu Zabel sangan ni suram Sahabu
Good morning, Guam.
That was
Your
a nice
vocal
one.
cords clearly work.
Yep.
And very, very, very well.
Thank you. Good morning.
Half a day, everybody.
Good morning. It's raining. Still raining outside, Joe?
Not anymore.
Not anymore. It was raining cats and Galagos earlier. It's kind of cleared up. Please, Dai Talent, it's Palaxia the Maxi out there. It's Tuesday, Jay.
Yes, and if you use Rain-X right now, your car is probably like all the rain is just streaking off.
Is that they still do Rain-X? That's not like our generation kind of thing?
Well, actually, now, you know what's popular is Rain-X already infused into the wind. You can buy windshield wipers with the Rain-X already in them.
Wow.
That I bet you that the guy who created that is the same guy that created Swiffer.
They need to make Rain-X for face shields.
Oh, your face shields fog up quite often, I noticed.
Yeah, I'm a heavy breather, that's why.
Ah.
Yeah, it's got nothing to do. My cardio's good. I don't know what it is. I'm a heavy breather. I do everything heavy.
Well, speaking of heavy breathing, we have a...
My kids will tease me. I'll post a video on Instagram. They'll be like, Dad, what was up with that breathing video? And I was like, oh, the one where I was telling that joke. And they're like, no, the one where you're like...
Speaking
never
of
noticed it.
speaking of
Darth Vader.
heavy breathing, Angel Pete Castro said, "Good morning. Rain weather is a good time for cuddling." Kuddu.
Hey, Teresa I. Cruz writes, Manana si us. Talaper Vesco, good morning, Guam. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, KUAM staff and the Marianas from Dedido.
Burn Flores writes, watching from the beautiful village of Inalahan.
And we
All
love
right.
Burn. You know, a name so nice, you gotta say it twice.
There you go.
Chamarita Rages, Hafade, good morning, Chris, Sabrina, Jason, Joser, KUAM Guam, CNMI from the beautiful hillside of Sinahanya.
Sin City, baby. Robert L. Crisosimo writes, good morning, Guam and KUAM from the beautiful village of Ipan, Talafofu. God's country.
Hey, Robert, we sent
Be
you a
safe.
direct message. Check your messages.
All right. Mary Siswico writes, good morning. Ed Davis, what's up, Ed? Good morning, KUAM team.
Ed.
Stay safe.
Angel Pete Quintanilla Castro writes, good morning, Chris, Sabrina, Jason. All have a good day and be safe.
Christina Hokog writes, Hafide and good morning. Todos tautautono.
Gina Benitez gives us good morning love and saying blessed morning from Blessed Bakery.
Gloria Guerrero writes, watching from Barragata, the love handles in Guam.
Marcy Flores, good morning, Chris, Bree, Jason, and the whole team from Cañada Barragata. Let's start the day with some good news. Please make my day.
Where's all the stateside at in the comments? I mean, we love our local people, but normally we get stuff from O-H-I. Oh, where's Ohio today?
J.M. Anita writes, good morning, Guam. God bless. Patricia Ann Atalig, buenas mananas y dos.
Chamarita Regis writes, Main Street, Palaxi to Palaxi, Italan.
There you go.
Drive safe, everyone. Ron Castro, buenas and Hoffaday, Team Breeze. Stay safe and God bless.
Guam Guy writes, good mornings and off a day. Thank you for no fake news. Reina Camacho, good morning from Saipan.
Here's our statesiders. Renita Italic says Hafide from Washington.
How about Tony Kidzitsu, half a day from Fort Bragg.
Buongiorno, Guam, Roberto Fraccassini.
Buongiorno, Guam. We got the Pacini. We got the Pacini from Roberto Fraccassini.
Arrivederci to Signore Fraccassini.
The spaghetti and the meatballs.
Well, and you know what's funny is we actually
Man,
have,
put in the Texas toast.
and we have a segment Texas really.
You guys, I just got turned on to Texas toast last week.
I only really became aware of Texas toast about maybe like 3 or 4 years ago. And I was like, you buy it in the freezer section, and it's like, what is Texas toast?
Texas toast, it's legit.
It is legit.
Yeah, it's buttery. It's I don't know what's in it. It's probably not even real.
Okay,
but
Sabrina
it's good.
Sabrina is not Sabrina store bought matanani, right? Yeah. She makes everything herself. Have you ever made?
That's not
Texas,
even true.
Have you ever made Texas toast?
No.
I think it was what
Have you used it out of the package?
I've used it out of the package. Then you can also buy it just with regular bread, Texas.
Oh, and then you just put like 5 pounds of butter on it.
What kind of bread?
Or
is
make
it?
French toast.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Wait, is it French bread or?
I bought the one that was already Texas. It was in the freezer. It had the butter, and then you put it in the oven. I turned that into talafofo toast, so
No.
good stuff.
How is talafofo toast? Like with just a hint of bananas, or? You know what?
Okay, anyway,
Yeah,
Teresa Cruz writes, Manana Sidus.
Joey and Vanji Gogui, yes, Manana Sidus, the link from Cañada Barragata. Oh, no walking in Asin this morning, Joey.
Hafaday and good morning to all of you. If you are like me and for the first time in your life experience Ben & Jerry's Chunky Monkey for the first time last night.
Wow, Jay.
I've never had that before.
Oh,
last
my
night.
God, Jay.
Speaking of bananas.
I don't know. Some people don't like banana ice cream, but Ben & Jerry's Chunky Monkey, dude, we have something in common now.
Really?
I love
But
that.
I mean, banana ice cream, and then you've got the walnuts, and then you've got those like chunks of like, was it dark chocolate, dark fudge? What a combination, man!
You should try the New York Fudge Super Chunk.
Wow.
Oh.
I'm more of a Foremost coconut ice cream.
Yeah,
girl.
no, I
Love
don't
that.
discriminate, Brie. I don't
Oh, with
discriminate.
the actual chunks of
I
coconut.
don't either, but I really like that.
Okay, speaking of food, a guest that was on yesterday for the Education Board segment, our good friend Maria Gutierrez, was saying, "Good morning, team. What's for breakfast?" Wink emoji.
Right, yeah. So thank you to Miss Maria Gutierrez. She made us some mochi cupcakes.
Oh.
Man,
Thank you, Mrs. G.
let me
so
tell
good.
you. Let me tell you.
How many did you have?
I don't know, but she got to put that on her platform. You know, she's running for board of education. She got to be like, I did this for the kids. I did this, and ask anybody about my mochi cupcakes
No, Mrs. G, just like stand on the side of the road, right?
with the mochi.
Yeah,
right?
with like the platter.
one
It was
arm of
good.
mochi, one arm of takoyaki.
I'm going to have to try making that.
That's not against GEC regulations, right? To stand there with like mochi.
You know what? I've never really been into mochi, but that mochi, because it was like crispy on the outside
Okay, there's
and
something.
moist on the inside. It was
we-
good.
Okay, how do you guys? Where do you guys stand when it comes to, as we say in native Chamorro, right? When it comes to your stuff being tostos, like a little bit burnt,
Yes.
but creatively so. It's tostos. Chachalons are really really good. You know the ones at the bottom of the bag, where they're like singed.
How about the bottom of the rice pot? Jay, are you into that?
The rice pot, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I need that.
popcorn?
I like my Spam, you know, a little.
Oh, like where
Yeah.
it's like where it's singed, where it's
A
like,
little
it
on the
crispy?
dark side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh man.
Elsie Regis writes, good morning, KUAM team. Wash your hands. Stay safe. Amen.
Teleper Vesgal, good morning Guam, good morning everyone, good morning KUAM staff and the Marianas from Dededo.
Renita Atalig, good morning, Guam from Washington.
Robert Crisostomo, good morning Guam and KUAM from the beautiful village of Ipan Talafofo, Guam's country.
We
Be
have got a
safe, all.
Hafaday shout out from KRK coming to us from Mile High. Hello and Hafaday from Denver, Colorado.
Jimmy Cruz writes, Buenas KUAM from Dusit Quarantine. I need some empanadas. Check on Adara store, guys, if you need empanada.
Will
Harvey
they deliver
Egna,
to the Dusit?
Texas toast is yum with pasta. That's exactly how I had it. I made a pasta bake, and then we had Texas toast. Oh. Patrick Solis, your brother. That's your brother, right?
Yes, that's my brother.
Yeah, he writes, Texas toast, it's just thick white bread. That's all it is. It's thick white bread.
Wait, but when you say thick,
Yeah,
Okay,
thick or thick.
okay, as someone who is actually white,
As someone who is actually
You
thick.
both are white. What are you talking about?
okay, I'm white, Chris is thick, right? And Bria's doing her best, like Steve Jobs impersonation over here, apparently.
Bree, I'm not white. The Barnetts, we came over in the second proa.
Okay, Oklahoma.
Okay, so, but when you say thick white bread, is that like sourdough? Is it just like Pullman? Is it?
Bam Bam writes, Foremost Macadamia ice cream is the way to go, is the go-to for rainy weather.
Oh, that's good.
Macadamia ice cream?
Yeah. Yeah,
Almost
it's
makes
good.
macadamia ice
Yes.
cream. Okay,
Do-
I
okay.
gotta find that then.
Okay, here's another foodie thing, right?
KRK writes, Buenas and off a day from Denver, Colorado.
Okay, that's our second repeat.
Right,
I just-
okay, sorry.
Do you guys say sherbet or sherbet?
Who says sherbet? A weirdo. If someone says sherbet, they're probably a serial killer.
But there's no R. It's sher, SHERBET.
I don't care. It's sherbet.
But remember, okay, speaking of old school stuff-
Sherbet? Who
Bree,
says
this-
that?
Bree-
Why would you want to eat something called sherbet? It sounds gross.
Okay, Sabrina lived on Guam when she was a little girl and then moved to the States and then came back as an adult, right? But-
Sherbet, it sounds like a spread made of eyeballs and livers.
Yikes. But remember the old school Foremost, since we're talking about Foremost ice cream?
Yeah.
When they had lime sherbet and they had orange sherbet. The orange was insane.
Banana Susanna.
Oh yeah. Oh, it was so. Do you remember that? It was
Yes,
so
I
good.
do.
Hopscotch, they had a hopscotch one, right, too, right?
Yeah, and then they tried Neapolitan, and Neapolitan like dominated everything.
Yeah. I don't even, my grandparents never really bought the ice cream for the ice cream. They just bought it for the container.
Yeah. No, my grandfather, my tata, and everything, he would have like the coffee can
Right.
that he would use to feed his chickens. And
My grandma used to drink out of the can. Do you guys, grandparents do that?
my uncle, my
They'd
late
get a
uncle-
can, like the can, like a
Oh.
can of like beef stew or
No,
whatever.
my late uncle Vic would have like a
Yeah.
big, like the jar of mayonnaise. He would like clean out. He would always use that for his coffee. I swear, the thing was like 36 ounces, glass jar,
Right.
and he would use that for his coffee.
Nice. Yeah, my grandma used to go, she would feed the chickens and she would have her little can of the Hana mice and it would be like condensed. This is like really vivid childhood memories. And she would feed the chickens, but there's always that one chicken who you can't kill because it's a pet.
The one with attitude, or
Yeah.
no, or the nice one.
My grandma's pet chicken was named Stanley.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Okay, there was a chicken you couldn't kill, but there was the duck that had attitude. The duck that would just take no crap from anybody. That was my grandfather's ranch.
Good morning.
Okay. Oh, guys, Harvey Egna, like a frequent commenter, says, "Hey guys, Payless sells triple flavor sherbet. Field trip? You think? Link on location, perhaps?
Yeah, who's driving you?
Ice cream run, perchance."
I've been wanting to go to the deli over at the.
Oh, the
Payless
Market
Night.
Deli?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I keep seeing the pictures on Instagram and.
Should check their
it's gotta
fried
make the
chicken,
trip.
Bree.
Well, I heard you've been raving about this
Yeah,
fried chicken.
fried chicken's
I know you guys like the fried chicken.
legendary.
I like the meatloaf and the lasagna.
There's one thing I feel like I'm really good on. I want to do a thesis on fried chicken. The best fried chicken on Guam. Restaurants only, because once you go out of the restaurant into the private, the public, there's no competition. Everybody's got good fried chicken.
Okay, speaking of Nana's fried chicken, right? Like all of us, I mean, our grandparents raised us right and everything,
Are
but
we hungry?
but
Hungry.
but my Nana, right? She said like she would bring out like the baked. My Nana made baked chicken. She didn't make fried chicken, right? But she'd bring out the baked chicken with the rice, and all my cousins watching know this, right? And I'd be like, "Oh, Nana, this is really really good, but it's a little dry. Can I have something to drink, please?" Like, and she'd be, "You can only drink once you finish eating your food."
Right.
And to me as a kid, I was like, wow, I can only drink once I'm finished eating? That didn't make sense.
It's a privilege.
Yeah, but I guess it makes you tough.
my grandma would cut the chicken up. It was almost like she was Jesus, because she would take one chicken and she would feed like 28 people with it. Because she would just cut it into such small little pieces, and we'd either have stafao or, I mean, if you're lucky, you got a piece of chicken. If you weren't, like down the younger cousins, it was like kadu and rice. That was it. You had the remnants of the chicken.
But if you were the older, like a teenager who already had
I
a
think
job,
Bree checked out her. She's like, yeah, I want fried chicken.
how did your grandparents, or I mean, because you lived all over the world, and in so many places in the country. Like, how was the food when you were growing up, and how did your parents prepare it?
I'm sorry. My grandmother, when I was younger and I lived on Guam, she would make, what I really remember her for was her bread. She always made fresh bread almost every single day, and tortillas, and
Ooh, boy.
I really miss that.
Yeah, my grandma would make fresh bread, and then after she passed, my grandpa would make bread, and I didn't even know the whole time, like, he could really make killer bread. He would make, like, the rolls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My grandmother was not a bread person. She was always tortillas, but she was absolutely, my grandmother, God rest her soul, the queen of flour tortillas. She never did corn. She never did mana. She was always about flour.
Man, my grandma,
good.
Thinking back on my grandma, just, from what I knew of her, because she passed when I was in my early teens. But the time that we did get to spend she was just, who had a Chamorro Superwoman grandmother? Like, my grandma would get up at like probably 2 a.m, and she would make empanadas. She would make donuts, and then me and my cousins would go across. We lived in Petey. We would go across the street to the power plant with our beer box of empanada, and we would go sell it at the power plant. And man, I got memories of we would be you can't go in the power plant. And now you can. You need a triple security retina check, DNA test just to get in. But back then, they didn't care about no safety, whatever. I was like, 6 or 7 in there with a beer box of empanada. We'd always do that. Me and my cousins.
What, you're talking about like, over at Cabras? Like where the
power
USO
plant.
used to be?
We would sell empanada and donuts to all the guys working the power plant.
That's a huge facility, too.
Yeah,
we took a field trip in there when I was at Sanchez, inside the power plant. It looked like the inside of the movie Aliens. Remember, like, when they're trying to, like, escape?
Yeah, because the floor is, like, grate,
Yeah.
right? It's like a sewer grate. So I'd be up on, like, the second level just looking down my little box of empanada. I'd always used to get in trouble, though, because I'd eat most of the donuts. Then my cousin would get home, and my grandma would be like, hey, you're short $3. And my cousin would be like, check your favorite. All right. We could go on all day like this, really. Maybe we will tomorrow. But not today. It's the Link on the Breeze 93.9, proudly brought to you by Carrier at 647-COOL. Also, Calvo Enterprises, ITD, and the Thrive Coalition, where we're getting from the Guam Police Department. They've got this great program about drug-free you, and we'll talk with them coming up on the show. As always, it's a great big show for you guys. The KUAM News Decision 2020 candidate interviews continue this morning. Bree?
Yes?
With the CCU candidates. At 9, we'll have incumbents Joey Duenas, Judy Guthertz, and then candidates Peter Roy Martinez and Nonito Blas. Around 9:30, we're going to kind of talk with the Environmental Public Health Division, Mary Lou Scroggs, because they've been out there. They've been doing the inspections. We know they've been to McCrowd, so we'll probably catch up about that. Also, Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio for his standing Tuesday here on the Link. We got Ray Tapasni Agora, Daphne Shimizu of Reverend Tax. So if you got any questions for Gora, Reverend Tax, throw it up in the comments, and we'll make a note of that to ask when they come on the show.
Also, if you have any questions for your candidates running for the Consolidated Commission on Utilities, any questions about your power bill, water bill, please post it.
You know what? Speaking of which, and comments and having to do with utilities, Burn, actually, who's been with us since the beginning of the show, is saying power is now currently down south in Inarahan. So, Burn, we're going to call GPA. We'll see what is going on with that, and we'll see if we can give you an ETA for restoration. Also, Harvey Igna was saying, hey, guys, you can get hot new cinnamon and caramel buns now at Mescla downtown.
Oh, you know what we always used to eat, too? Sorry, because I saw this comment here from somebody. Champalado. Did you guys eat a lot of champalado when you were growing up? Chocolate rice?
Mm-hmm.
Now, see, my Howley sidekick, sidekicking, they made us rice pudding. It wasn't champalado. However, I did spend the night at my cousin's house, and okay. What was the cocoa that you guys used to make the champalado? Was it?
Oh, let me tell you my champalado story. Okay, so my grandma, how many you guys' grandma out there? Now it comes sweetened, but the cocoa powder?
Was it Ovaltine?
No,
Did you guys
it
use-
wasn't. It was the cocoa powder, and it's not sweet. And she had the baking chocolate. And I remember one time me and my
Ooh.
cousins, we would see, what's she putting in that champolado there? How you do that there, Grandma? Oh, there she got the chocolate. It's in the cabinet. It's up high. So when, after Grandma went out to feed the chickens, me and my cousins went. We got a big bar of the baking chocolate and bit it, and bitter.
That's that carob chocolate,
That's
right?
not. That makes dark chocolate seem diabetic.
Okay, but one time one of my cousins made champolata with the Nestle Quick, with the actual cocoa.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the next day, my auntie, she used a strawberry Nestle Quick. Have you guys ever had pink champolata?
No.
That just sounds gross. No offense.
It
Dave.
wasn't so bad.
Yeah.
I mean, it was different. I'm not gonna lie, but it was interesting.
Pink champolado.
Pinkalado. I don't even know if there's a word.
Break
for
that
it.
out in Pride Month.
Yeah. Well, speaking of pink and everything, we got a series going on our YouTube channel all week. Think Pink. Joe Nuggan Sharfus is featuring
Nice segue.
featuring people in the community who have bravely battled and are inspiring their community and educating people about the awareness of breast cancer in our community. So that's all this week on our YouTube channel and on Primetime.
I guess one last story. The first time I shaved my head, my cousins, we'd always go to Molesso Pier. This is way back, man. And we would get into these Bellotti fights. This is before animal cruelty, guys.
those are the best.
We had to pass because we were ignorant. Yeah, it was the best until they freaking got me, and we'd always do WWF, and they were like, headlocked me, and they took the Bellotti and squeezed all that white stuff out into my hair. Yeah, all of my hair.
Yeah.
And that's the first time I shaved my head. That's all. But my grandma was so mad because I was a Carita. She was like, what did you guys do to my Christomet's hair? Okay, you ready? Let's
Yeah.
clock in now. Let's do a show. Official business hats, guys. No more reminiscing. Thank you for coming down with us. Now that we got you all worked up, the comments are all like, oh, yeah, my childhood. Well,
I fought Bellotti too.
right. Okay, it's 6:41. Let's go ahead and do the news here to start the show with the very latest from the KUAM News team. Good morning, Sabrina Salas-Mantanani.
Half a day, everybody. 59 people are hospitalized at the Guam Memorial Hospital for COVID-19. 11 are receiving ICU level of care, and 3 are on ventilators. At GRMC, there are 5 COVID patients there, while 4 are at Naval Hospital Guam. 3 of those 4 are on ventilators. Out of 581 samples taken last Friday through Sunday that were ran at various labs, they returned an additional 81 positives. This now brings Guam's total COVID case count to 3,756 people who have been infected with the virus since March. Of that number, 1,340 people are actively fighting coronavirus, while more than 2,300 people have recovered. Guam has seen 66 total deaths. A Department of Youth Affairs employee has tested positive for COVID-19. According to the Joint Information Center, the officer was off duty when symptoms were first noticed. The officer is currently on leave. Several precautions are in place to include that all residents are sheltering in place. All appointments for residents will be conducted over the phone and virtually, and all visitations will continue to be conducted over the phone. Parents of DYA residents are asked to call 735-5033, that's 735-5033, to speak to a DYA social worker for further information. The Department of Public Health's Rapid Engagement Team community outreach in the Gil, Baza, and Zero Down subdivisions concluded yesterday. Of the 136 people tested Monday, 36 returned positive for COVID. Running parallel with the RET outreach, the first of 4 targeted community COVID testings was held at the Jigo Gym over the weekend. Public Health is planning 3 others up north, which has seen a higher incidence of positive cases. Nestor Lecanto reports.
About 156 people out of the 200 that were registered were tested. The 3 other testing sites have not yet been confirmed, but FSM Consul General Teresa Philippin is helping with the public outreach campaign and pre-registering of people to be tested.
That way we can, make sure that people show up, not, stand in line for so long and not be able to get tested because, they run out of testing kits.
The data shows that Chuquis residents in particular and the FSM community in general have a higher per capita COVID infection rate, mainly due to socioeconomic conditions such as lack of access to health care and multi-generational homes. But Philippine points out it could also be due to general public exposure.
And most of our folks are in the front line of the industry here, of service industry. So they're subjected to, coming in contact with people every day in the service area. There are and has been negative reactions to this, and people feel, it's a very sensitive matter. When you say, oh, you're Chuquis or you're FSM, that's why you're spreading the virus. That shouldn't be really the case here. Everybody is susceptible to this virus, and everybody should get all the information that they need to get to know how serious this virus is.
The consulate is appealing to the FSM community to follow the guidance of the health experts and to adjust accordingly.
If it means to minimize certain cultural practices or cultural activities, just so that we don't, the infection rate, we don't spread the spreading of the virus, is minimized or mitigated, then that's what we need to do. That's the message that we need to get out there. The concern is just not, restricted to or subjected to our FSM folks. This is to everybody. Everybody in Guam, should be.
A swelling number of COVID cases has caused a backup at the government's isolation facility as positive cases are waiting to check in at the Bayview. According to public health spokesperson Janela Carrera, the Bayview is full, but they are working on cleaning the dirty rooms and disinfecting them to make them available. According to Carrera, there are a total of 125 rooms at the Bayview. 89 people are in isolation there. 24 rooms are currently being disinfected to free up more space. Additionally, the Garden Court Ocean View is another government isolation facility, but it is on standby for use when the Bayview is filled to capacity. The Guam Police Department arrested one of their own Monday. 30-year-old Matias Dylan Lizama was arrested for unlawfully discharging several shots from his firearm. According to a GPD press release, the incident occurred at 1:25 in the morning along Chalan Karetan Trosu in Dededo. Surrounding neighbors informed officers that Lizama was involved in a verbal argument when he allegedly shot off his gun. Lizama was off duty at the time. He was transported to the Dededo Precinct Command and was booked and released. He has been placed on administrative leave. The case has been forwarded to the Office of the Attorney General for prosecution and GPD's Internal Affairs Section for an administrative investigation. Senators wrapped up the October legislative session by passing more than 12 bills and confirming the nominations of almost 24 board and commission members and Public Health Director Art San Augustine. The wide-ranging legislation covered issues such as Senator Sabina Perez's Bill 90, which passed by a vote of 14-0. The bill modernizes Guam's emergency procurement law. According to the senator, the measure provides a responsive and complete framework for utilizing emergency procurement and ensures a greater degree of transparency and accountability. Also passed was Senator Regine Bisco Lee's bill to set up a task force to explore the feasibility of ensuring the reefs in Tumon. A measure by Senator Luis Muñoz authorizing public health to implement school-located vaccination programs. A bill by Senator Kelly Marsh Taitano to include the principles of sustainability in the Guam Comprehensive Development Plan. A measure by Senator Tello Taitagui that increases the claims limit for government negligence. A bill by Senator Joe San Augustine to allow tax credits for a private group to rehabilitate the Harmon Industrial Park. And a measure by Senator Clint Rigel to ensure greater transparency over salary adjustments for employees by boards of autonomous agencies. Republican Senator James Moylan issued a statement criticizing the lack of legislation to address job creation and economic diversification during the current pandemic. He complained that none of his bills addressing these issues made it onto the agenda. The measures passed on Monday now head to Adelup for the governor's consideration. Chief Judge Francis Tedinko Gatewood issues an order granting to extend the stay in the clergy sexual abuse lawsuit by 90 days. According to the order, the court finds good cause to extend the stay for all cases through January 15th, 2021. This ultimately provides parties more time to resolve further settlements and address outstanding service issues. It further ordered that in the event a settlement is not achieved by mid-January, then parties must file their scheduling and planning conference reports by February 1st. The court will not consider whether or further requests to extend the settlement stay beyond January 15th. We should, as of September 21st, a total of 281 sexual abuse claims have been filed in Guam. There are just 15 days until the 2020 presidential election, and both campaigns are feeling the urgency to get voters to the polls. Deborah Alfarone has more details from the White House.
President Trump heads to Arizona for a rally this afternoon. It's a state where he has some ground to make up, with Democratic nominee Joe Biden leading in the latest CBS News Battleground Tracker poll. But President Trump says he has momentum.
All of the crowds have been incredible, and they've been incredible size, too. The enthusiasm that we have, I don't think anybody's ever had more enthusiasm.
Campaigning in Nevada Sunday, President Trump told a packed crowd of mostly maskless supporters that Biden wants a Grinch-like lockdown.
The Christmas season will be canceled. Look, remember I said we're going to bring back Christmas, right? The name? Remember we brought it back, right?
And he mocked the former vice president for wanting to listen to the scientists about the pandemic.
He'll listen to the scientists. If I listened totally to the scientists, we would right now have a country that would be in a massive depression.
The Biden campaign hit back in a statement saying that the U.S. economy would be in better shape today if the president had listened to scientists in the first place. Campaigning at a drive-up rally in North Carolina, the Democratic nominee slammed the president for insisting the virus will soon be under control.
This guy's gone around the bend if he thinks we turned the corner. Turn the corner. Things are getting worse.
Coronavirus cases are on the rise in 40 U.S. states right now.
Experts say we're likely to lose as many as 200,000 additional lives nationwide between now and the end of the year.
Biden will step off the campaign trail today to focus on preparing for this week's final presidential debate. Deborah Alfarone, CBS News, the White House.
And that is your news. We'll have more on The Link after the break.
GU Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's. We offer affordable rates, online payments, and auto bill pay for your convenience. Plus gate access daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information.
Pepsi Guam Bottling, a local company. We produce your favorite products right here on island, like Pepsi, Mountain Dew, Hanum, Chamorro Punch, Tropical Ice, and more. We've invested millions into local production and will continue to upgrade our facilities and provide local jobs so you can truly buy local. Our long history of producing the freshest and best products will continue. This is our vision. Pepsi Guam Bottling.
Half a day. I am George Bamba, a Republican and former senator in the Guam legislature and chief of staff to two Republican governors, Paul Cavell and Felix Camacho. Even though Robert Underwood and I haven't always been on the same side of the political fence, I respect him and have worked with him resolving issues important to our people and our island while Robert was in Congress and as president of the University of Guam. I have always had a deep respect for Robert personally and professionally and continue to do so. At this critical time in our island's history, we need Robert's wisdom and experience to fight for all of us in Washington, D.C. He is a trustworthy and more than capable candidate for Congress, and that is why I am ready for Robert Underwood.
I'm Robert Underwood, and I approve this message.
Your generosity can change lives. Disasters won't stop during this global pandemic, so neither will we. The Guam chapter of the American Red Cross is calling on the continued support of the community to assist with their mission of providing disaster relief and recovery efforts, military family support, and life-saving training and certifications. In times of emergency, our support will not waver, and we pray that your support of our efforts will continue as well. We invite you to join us in commemorating our 20th annual signature fundraiser virtually this year by supporting the Red Ball in a Box. We will be delivering special red boxes, which include a 4-course dinner from Micronesian Chefs Association and wine to our patrons and sponsors. As a sponsor, your company and message will also be featured in a special television tribute to the Guam chapter of the American Red Cross. For sponsorship opportunities and more information, please call 688-0280 or visit our Instagram or Facebook page. Let's support our community. Though we're apart, we're still together in generosity and support.
Celebrate National Pizza Month with the Pepsi Pizza Report. Pepsi helps celebrate this tasty month with an easy way for you to win Pepsi and pizza. Post a photo of yourself enjoying your favorite Pepsi beverage to KOM News or Uno Instagram or Facebook pages to enter to win Pepsi and pizza from one of our pizza sponsors. Catch the Pepsi Pizza Report every Thursday on KOM News' The Link Morning Show and on the social media pages of KOM News for reports, tastings, and everything pizza and Pepsi.
I am the future. We are the future. The future leaders. Businesswomen. Please keep us in mind when you vote. Don't choose more of the same. John Ananich is unique and new. Focus on the mission of making our island safer
and securing our future.
I am the future. Vote for John Ananich. For Senator!
Visit us at johnananich.com and follow us on Facebook and Instagram.
I'm John Ananich, and I approve this message.
Battling COVID-19 is an unprecedented global challenge. To get communities around the world back up and running as quickly and safely as possible, public health authorities are building smartphone apps to help with contact tracing. Contact tracing is one of the best ways to stop a virus from spreading. It can take thousands of disease investigators to alert everyone who's been in contact with people who've tested positive. But even if disease investigators do their jobs perfectly, alerting the people a COVID patient doesn't know or can't remember is incredibly difficult. Smartphone apps that public health authorities build can help people at risk of infection get notified much more quickly. But a contact tracing app works best when more people download it. And being asked to download an app without knowing how it will handle your personal information might cause people to worry about their privacy, and they may not feel safe participating. That's why engineers at Apple and Google have been working together to make public health technology that protects individual privacy, so that people never have to choose between their privacy and the health and safety of their community. You're probably wondering what that means and how that all works, and we're going to walk you through it in a second, but first let's be really clear about a couple things. First, apps using this system cannot track your location. And second, this system does not share your identity with Google, Apple, or other users. Here's how that works. For every phone that's opted in, our technology disguises your identity by generating a random sequence of numbers that change every few minutes. Then, using Bluetooth, anytime your phone detects another phone close by that's also opted in, the two exchange those random numbers. If in the future someone's positive for COVID-19, they can report that positive result in their app. Any phones that had exchanged random numbers in the last 14 days will receive a notification that they may have been exposed to COVID-19 without revealing their identity. Public health authorities can then help anyone at risk get testing and treatment. But it's up to all of us to help with contact tracing. Do your part and look for your public health authority app that uses this exposure notifications system. The more people who participate, the sooner we can beat COVID-19 and get our communities back on their feet.
You're watching The Link with Chris and Sabrina on TV 11, but don't leave yet because we're coming up next on CBS This Morning.
We got your 6.
At 6 a.m. with The Link on Breeze 93.9 FM. Bree and I connect you with all the latest news and information you need to know to start your day.
Then check back with Guam's news leader at 6 p.m. for the day's top headlines with KUAM News Primetime.
From 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and everything else in between with KUAM Digital, we got your 6. Good morning. Good morning, Guam. It's 6:58. That's local music right there. Ana D. Garcia. So in love. We're KUAM FM in Agotni, Guam. This is the link on the breeze, 93.9. Good morning. Carrier 647 Cool, Calvo Enterprises, IT&E, and the Thrive Coalition. Proudly presenting this episode of The Link on the 20th day of October, Tuesday. Happy birthday to my son, Channing Jose Barnett.
Hey!
Turning the big 1-0, double digits.
Oh, boy.
Oh.
Yep. And still no hair on his fat.
Next thing you know, he's going to be saying, hey, Dad, can I borrow the car? I want my own iPad.
Right. Good morning. Let's jump into the KUAM news Zoom room here, where we have GOR Director Ray Tapasnia standing by.
Good morning, Ray.
Hey, Ray.
You might want to turn down your TV or your Facebook because we can hear the echo.
Okay, well, there's nothing on here.
Oh.
Who is that?
That's us.
Oh, that's us. Sorry.
Okay, so what do I do, Jay?
No, we'll figure it out.
Oh, we'll figure it out.
There's something on.
Okay. I mean, I like my voice. I don't like hearing. I don't mind hearing it twice. Twice. All right. Try this here.
How did this happen?
I don't know.
That's when you play the music.
I'm not playing any music. Yeah. Okay, Ray. Good morning. Just go ahead. We'll give you the floor here. I know that. Can we start with the COVID news?
Okay, sure. Yeah, we have.
It's coming from him. What is that? Hey, Ray, give us a sec. We're going to figure this out, guys.
Okay.
Thank you. Oh, wait, what'd you do? Oh, that's good. It works. Reboot.
I wonder who touched that. Jason.
Jason's
All
touching
right.
stuff in here. I told him about touching. Just as a rule during COVID, just try not to touch anything. That's my advice to my kids. If we go anywhere, don't touch anything.
Mm-hmm.
Ray, good morning.
So we're good now.
Good morning, KUAM.
All right, there we go. That's better. Right on. Yeah, it sounds good. Check. 1, 2. Sybilis.
All right. Let's go ahead, Ray, if you could just give us an update. I know that you had somebody who had tested positive, I believe, and then you guys disinfected yesterday.
Yes, we on Saturday we got the report that we had Friday test positive for COVID-19, and immediately we started our internal contact tracing. And then yesterday morning at about 9 a.m., I believe, we had a professional outfit come in and do the deep cleaning and sanitizing of all pertinent areas at GORA. And we've also we're scheduling testing of all those who may have come into close contact starting tomorrow. And if public health isn't able to assist us, then we're just going to pay for a private lab to do that. And, we're doing everything humanly possible to ensure the safety of our employees.
Is there any particular reason why public health would force you guys to pay for it on your own or seek help outside of public health?
The numbers are. So I'm not going. I'm not going to depend on them until we're not able to assist. We reached out to private labs. So if they're not able to do it immediately, and if any employee was exposed, it would have been Friday. So we're hoping to get the testing done by tomorrow. If we had done it sooner, it might have been too soon.
Right. Ray, how'd it feel to go so deep? This is our first positive, right?
Yes, it is.
Right.
But we really have SOPs in place. We early back in March, we actually purchased air purification, and we installed it traffic areas at Gura. So basically what this piece of equipment does is it pulls in air 24 hours a day and it affects the air UV technology and then pushes it back out. So the air at Gura in the foyer area, in Section 8, in other high traffic areas is constantly being treated, disinfected using UV ultraviolet light technology. Mm-hmm. So we've done that dating back to March, and we hope that would help. Unfortunately, we did have an employee that contracted it elsewhere and came to work Friday. My understanding, even after being cleared by a doctor. So we sent him home and had him tested, and he tested positive. So it's unfortunate, but through our contact tracing efforts, we've identified as many as, not everyone had direct contact or close contact, but we've identified as many as 52 who may want to get tested tomorrow. So that's where we are.
How many people have been identified as close contacts to that one employee?
Maybe about, I would say less than 10. But just for peace of mind, I've made the offer to anyone who feels that they may have just walked through the area or maybe used the restroom, the same restroom. I said, hey, we have COVID funds that we could apply towards this effort. So we'll whoever feels they want to be tested. So that's what we're going to do.
We're talking about the office in Sinahanya, right?
Correct.
Okay.
But there's a lot of positive news at Gura if you want to hear about it.
Right. I'm always down for positive news, even if it's not COVID positive.
Yeah.
Okay, well, first, no, we're not going under receivership. No, we're not in trouble with we actually I went before the board recently to get their approval to hire a assistant controller and an accountant too. So we're going to be really beefing up our team, our talent at Gura. Once these folks, they've given their 2 weeks notice to their present employers. And once we bring them in, we literally in our accounting department would have 4 certified public accountants, 1 certified government financial manager, 1 certified government bookkeeper. It's unheard of in Guam to have that kind of level of national certification just in our accounting office. In addition to that, we have of course, our architectural engineering manager is a PE. Our human resources manager is a DE in HR. And then about 20% of our workforce is actually completed the apprenticeship program at GCC. So, it's kind of ironic that anyone would claim that we're going under receivership with that kind of certification under our belts.
Hey, Ray, we had a comment here. What's taking so long for distribution of the federal funds for rent relief?
Well, the rent relief has even started pre-COVID because Gura works directly with Catholic Social Service and the Salvation Army, even before the pandemic. So rent relief was always out there. What we recently launched about a week and a half ago was the mortgage relief, and that was in partnership with the Guam Housing Corporation. My understanding from GHC that over 300 applications have already been picked up. 50 of those, or 50 applications, have been submitted to the to Guam Housing, and of the 50, 15 have already been processed and are now the level of the loan officer for final approval. So yeah, it's moving along. Depending on what we see in terms of numbers, Gura's well prepared to supplement their funding levels. there's a huge demand for mortgage relief.
Right. So this is additional money for separate from the mortgage relief that was
Receive that money. And you know what? One of the challenges we face is, and a lot of them are geared towards homelessness and homeless assistance. But you don't have a lot of nonprofits and NGOs out there that are banging on our doors saying we want to do this work, particularly in light of the pandemic. So while we do have a second round, the first round's already committed. While we do have a second and third round of COVID-19 funds. It's GURA really that's reaching out to the nonprofits and NGOs and saying, hey, let's partner up and let's do this and let's do that. But everyone's afraid of potential exposure, so we can't force them to step up. But there are firms out or nonprofits out there that are really doing an outstanding job.
I saw here you guys got some other projects you want to catch us up on, Ray?
Even with the pandemic, there's still ongoing construction. We have the Central Arts Hall in Sinajana that's continuing. We broke ground back in, I believe, May. And then you have the Umatic baseball field that we're continuing to work on. There's some challenges with respect to the contractors losing some of their personnel due to COVID, but those projects are moving along. We also have the Inarajan basketball court that we're just waiting for the building permit to be approved, and then we'll proceed with that. And then, the governor put us on the committee to design and build the new Olympic-sized swimming pool. So we're aggressively working on that project. We've been we had some communications with the Guam Swimming Federation just last week, and we're hoping to proceed. We have some really great ideas that we want to put forth. And if funding can be identified, because we can't use our funding, if funding can be identified, then certainly we're going to try and build that pool within a year at Warp Speed. And then as well, we've been assisting the Guam Memorial Hospital with the skilled nursing unit, putting together the application for FEMA. There's a lot going on aside from providing homes to ortho.
Any update on Guma Tranquilidad?
We recently, we will be issuing, actually, we were scheduled to issue a request for a proposal today, but because of the COVID-19 positive at GURA, we're pushing maybe tomorrow. But we plan to issue a request for a proposal to bring solar energy technology to Guma Trang to try and, because, folks tell you we pay. We have to bring in solar voltaics and have the facility generate its own power. And so that's I'm really excited about that one. Once if that's a successful venture, then we're going to push to try and bring solar technology to all of our public housing units. And so that we will just be completely taken off the power grid.
Wow.
Chris, the sign of receivership.
What about an update on the Sinajana Fire Station?
The Sinajana Fire Station, we have the money set aside for this fiscal year, specifically for the AE design work, not for construction. The construction has been pushed back a year, fiscal year primarily because we need the Guam Fire Department to be able to justify the need for this fire station. The challenge we face with the feds is in the previous administration, 2 fire stations were closed. So for us to propose that we want to build a new fire station after closing 2 fire stations in the past, by the way, one that GURA built is a hard sell. But we're up to it, and we at a minimum will start the design this year.
What about this? I saw something about a hearing where GORA's committing funds to build a charter school.
Yes, we're just days away, which, all of this bad press that Gura got in recent weeks, which was really unwarranted. It really put a damper of one of our major projects, is the construction of a $32 million charter school in partnership with iLearn Academy. But basically, it's at the level where the Assistant Secretary of HUD just needs to sign off on a approval letter. And Gura's share of the project would be about $12 million. And if this gets signed in the next few days, we hope to start construction by November of a new charter school, a 900 packs charter school with, an auditorium, gymnasium, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So
Ray, how come we couldn't do something like this for Simon Sanchez?
You've got to ask DOE that. I can't answer to them. All I know is we're proceeding forward, but the challenges we face with getting that approval to do with all of this back and forth about receivership, which was never really in the books, or was never even at the discussion level.
So
when our election starts saying things that are because it's election year, that's not even true. There's irreparable harm, and I keep cautioning them. There was no talk about receivership. They held an oversight hearing of Gura, and we told them there's no receivership. I even have letters from HUD saying they're not aware of any receivership. But all of this back and forth about receivership, about bad audits, really put a damper on some of the. I mean, you're talking about $12 million loan to Gura to build a charter school that was. May have been delayed a bit till we figure out what we want to do locally. Do we really want to push forward these projects, or do we want to stymie agencies during election year because it's the Malik thing to do?
Well, I don't know. I just feel like if we're giving $12 million to build a charter school, it's kind of like, what are we doing about Simon Sanchez? I mean, was it too late, Ray? In your opinion, has that ship sailed, or would you be willing to? I don't know.
No. In fact, this $12 million loan that we're supposed to receive from HUD, it's actually, we could apply every year if we wanted to for about $15 million. It doesn't have to be for a charter school. It could be for anything that's related to economic development. But this is the first time Gura's done this. This is the first time actually Gura's put itself in a position where it has liability. This year we're a $112 million operation with zero debt. You're not going to see that at the airport or the port or the utility agencies. We rival them in terms of the revenues coming in, but we've never actually gone out and borrowed money. This is the first time. So, it's a huge step for Gura. We've not tried this, and we didn't go to the bond market to do it. It's just a loan guarantee through HUD with interest rates that are below what you would typically get if you went to the bond market. So, but we're not paying that off. It would be the whoever we partner up with. So that's how it kind of works. And I think moving forward, we can build more charters if we wanted to, and we can apply it towards other business ventures if we should desire to.
Did the charter school approach you, or did Gura approach the charter school to let them know, hey, we've got this wonderful program?
The charter actually approached us. I mean, if you want to know the history, what happened is, and there was a news story about this. The Gura in the previous administration had actually proposed with this $12 million to build a strip mall near the new hospital, and that project fell through. So it was incumbent upon the new administration to try and figure out how we can save that money. So we were up against very strict timelines, and again, we're down to just days to get the Assistant Secretary of HUD to approve a $12 million loan to build this charter school. But initially, that wasn't the plan. It was a strip mall.
Well, we should call GDOE.
Well, yeah, GDOE. How do our public school kids get a hold of you to avail themselves of this great program.
Well, Gura is just partnering up to build it. Where it's not going to be Gura, it would be iLearn Academy. So, I don't know the details.
I mean, DOE's probably their mouth is probably watering right now. With that $12 million, holy moly!
Oh, it's a $2 million project, 34 million, depending on how it pans out. But if we're successful, if we break ground in November, December, and things go well, then we'll apply immediately thereafter, and we can get, I think, as much as 15 million a year.
Is that a commitment, Ray, for Sanchez, or?
Yep. My commitment, as long as I have this job, I'm going to keep working every day to try and improve our quality of life, not just for Gura families, but for everybody on this island.
All right. Is anything else, Ray?
No. We're back to work. We had to shut down Section 8 for one day so we can do the deep cleaning and sanitizing. But we've done our contact tracing, and we hope, I pray that my employee who tested positive will be okay.
Yeah.
But aside from that, we've done everything humanly possible to ensure everybody's safety. So normal operations today.
And can you catch us up on that? We've talked about it a few times. This whole the $80,000 in rent payments that are supposed to be paid back by Gura. Can you give us a little update on that? And I know it was involving a property. Is it Congressman St. Nicholas' property, or how? What's the update?
Well, now I can say more about that because my attorneys have officially reached out to his attorney. So. He's not going to find out by listening to the link. So yes, our attorney actually contacted his attorney and said, hey, you shouldn't have, there was a conflict of interest that was identified in the previous administration, not under my watch. And because it's a violation of federal law, this money needs to be returned. So what I do know is approximately $84,000 with one particular conflict is owed to Gura, and then another, I believe, maybe $70,000 is on a separate conflict is owed to Gura. So, he received the letter last week, and we'll see where we go from there.
When you say he, can you specify who you mean?
Well, elected official, if you're an elected official, you cannot be a landlord for Gura. That's a prohibition via federal law, federal statute. Or you cannot have an immediate family member, whether it be a brother, sister, or mother, or father. You cannot have them be a landlord for Gura. And every election year, we reach out to elected officials and we notify them of this federal law. And we ask them to fully disclose if they had a potential conflict. And in this particular case, Gura was not notified. But if I can just share with you, there's two other elected officials that we're reaching out to this week as well, to say, guess what? There was a conflict that you failed to disclose, so you're going to have to pay this back, whether it be you or your sibling or whoever was the landlord, but somebody's got to pay it back.
Who are the two other elected officials, Ray?
I'm sorry?
Who are the two other elected officials?
Well, I can't disclose that because I don't know whether they actually received the letter. I just know the congressman received his letter, or at least his attorney.
When you say two other elected officials, are you talking about at the legislature? Can you say that?
Correct.
Okay.
Sitting senators.
Correct.
Republican or Democrat?
No, that could be the reason why they held an oversight. I don't know on Gura. But yeah, this is not limited to just one elected official. It's at least it's the congressman and at least 2 other senators.
Did you receive a response from the congressman? I remember, I think we had covered this a few years ago about the disclosure that was supposed to happen.
Yeah, again, all of this happened in the previous administration. When I came on board and I was aware of all these conflicts, I immediately terminated these conflicts. So these conflicts do not exist under my watch. It did exist under my predecessor's watch. And so, and these conflicts continued for months, if not years. And that's why the amounts are fairly high. But with one particular, and I won't mention the name, with one particular conflict, I think what's owed to Gura is about $98,000. So, that this didn't happen overnight. This happened over several months, if not longer. But when I came on board and I was made aware, I terminated it. We did not act on trying to recover these costs until the Attorney General opined recently. So, everyone wants to claim there's a political agenda. There isn't. But in recent weeks, the Attorney General opined that somebody needs to pay it back. So, it kind of forced my hand to say, hey, I know it's a political year and you're going to be upset at me. However, it needs to be paid back. And I'm not just going to sit around and wait till after the election because there is a legal opinion from the Attorney General.
Wow. Can you send me all that stuff?
Well, I'm not sure I can do that because there's potential for litigation. But I said as much as I can.
Okay. Thanks, Ray.
But but the next time I'll probably be able to say more because we've actually
can we just the 2 other elected officials who have a conflict as landlords, are they Republican or Democrat senators, or both?
Democrats.
Democrats. Okay. They're both Democrats. Okay. Female or male?
Through process of elimination, people are going to start to figure it out. Not to say anymore.
Chris, it sounds like you guys are trying to play like a couple rounds
Speaker,
of like that game Guess Who.
Let's go down the list.
Does this person have a mustache?
Blonde hair?
Is this person
Brown
Chamorro?
hair.
Can you at least do hot or cold?
Hey, we got Democrats.
All right, Ray. Blink if it's a male. Blink twice if it's female. Okay. How many blinks was that? That was 3. Now we got a problem. I wasn't ready for 3 blinks. Ray, thanks for coming on and thanks for that info.
Okay.
Right.
You guys stay safe.
You too. Stay safe.
Okay. Be safe. Keep us posted. 7:27. We got to take a quick break here. And we're back with more of The Link. We have Reverend Tax Director Davani Shimizu up next here on The Link at 7:26. Good morning, Guam.
Celebrate National Pizza Month with the Pepsi Pizza Report. Pepsi helps celebrate this tasty month with an easy way for you to win Pepsi and pizza. Post a photo of yourself enjoying your favorite Pepsi beverage to KOM News or Uno Instagram or Facebook pages to enter to win Pepsi and pizza from one of our pizza sponsors. Catch the Pepsi Pizza Report every Thursday on KOM News' The Link Morning Show and on the social media pages of KOM News for reports, tastings, and everything pizza and Pepsi.
I'm ready for Robert in this election. He is a proven leader. He's passionate about his home and the people of Guam. He can pick up where I left off and not miss opportunities to benefit our people. Beyond being a good friend of Robert and having tremendous respect for his work, I know that he will do much more to represent our people in Congress. Robert will be accessible to our people. We desperately need someone in Congress that will work in a bipartisan manner. We live in a very challenging time. He will be an ethical leader. And for these reasons, I will vote for Robert Underwood for Congress and will do whatever it takes to support him. Yes, I'm ready for Robert. Sijus Masi.
I'm Robert Underwood, and I approve this message.
Avenue Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's. We offer affordable rates, online payments, and auto bill pay for your convenience. Plus gate access daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information.
Pepsi Guam Bottling, a local company. We produce your favorite products right here on island, like Pepsi, Mountain Dew, Hanum, Chamorro Punch, Tropical Ice, and more. We've invested millions into local production and will continue to upgrade our facilities and provide local jobs so you can truly buy local. Our long history of producing the freshest and best products will continue. This is our vision. Pepsi Guam Bottling.
I am the future. We are the future. The future leaders. Businesswomen. Please keep us in mind when you vote. Don't choose more of the same. John Ananich is unique and new. Focus on the mission of making our island safer
and securing our
future. I am the future. Vote for John Ananich. For Senator!
Visit us at johnananich.com and follow us on Facebook and Instagram.
I'm John Ananich, and I approve this message.
Your generosity can change lives. Disasters won't stop during this global pandemic, so neither will we. The Guam chapter of the American Red Cross is calling on the continued support of the community to assist with their mission of providing disaster relief and recovery efforts, military family support, and life-saving training and certifications. In times of emergency, our support will not waver, and we pray that your support of our efforts will continue as well. We invite you to join us in commemorating our 20th annual signature fundraiser virtually this year by supporting the Red Ball in a Box. We will be delivering special red boxes, which include a 4-course dinner from Micronesian Chefs Association and wine to our patrons and sponsors. As a sponsor, your company and message will also be featured in a special television tribute to the Guam chapter of the American Red Cross. For sponsorship opportunities and more information, please call 688-0280 or visit our Instagram or Facebook page. Let's support our community. Though we're apart, we're still together in generosity and support.
You're watching The Link with Chris and Sabrina on TV 11. Stick around because we're next on CBS This Morning.
We got your 6
at 6 a.m. with The Link on Breeze 93.9 FM. Bree and I connect you with all the latest news and information you need to know to start your day.
Then check back with Guam's news leader at 6 p.m. for the day's top headlines with KUAM News Primetime.
From 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and everything else in between with KUAM Digital, we got your 6.
Some of the most fulfilling conversations are what we have like during the commercial break. Like someone we've come to know very, very well. She's a treasure trove of information. She really cares about the community. Our dear friend Daphne Shimizu, the director of Rev & Tax and everything. She was actually just like with us in the chat room talking about hair, but I was like, hair, you think? I cannot wait till I get my haircut. Good morning, Daph.
Yeah, can you show us your hair, Jay?
Oh, good Lord.
Come
okay.
on.
When this is like 3 months of. I mean, I was like, I'm not gonna get my haircut during PCOR 1, which we all thought was gonna be like maybe 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But I can't wait till I can finally get my haircut again, because when I finally get my haircut, my hair is gonna be fried, dyed, and to the side.
You really look like a cartoon character. I can't figure it out. When I do, though, I'll let you know.
I'm bringing back the Chamorro afro, that's for sure.
Right, and you've got the butt buzz going too.
Oh,
the
very
beard,
much so.
yeah.
No, look at. Nobody wants to look at me. Look at Daph. Daph was even saying, Daph, you got the Rapunzel thing going on, right?
Yeah, this is because I haven't gone to the hairstylist in months. So this is not by choice. But I have discovered that you could actually order hair dye online. So there's this company called Madison Reed. There's no ammonia, no harsh chemicals, I suppose. And so my sister-in-law was the one that introduced me to Madison Reed, and I am enjoying it. So at least I won't have the same issue that I had back in March, April. I didn't go for several months, and my hair was really bad. So Jason, I'll send you the link for Madison Reed. It's great. It even comes with, the cool thing is you could even buy, when you actually go to the hairstylist and they have the little brush and the bowl with the the bowl that does not move because it's got this like rubber at the bottom of it so that it could stay in place as you're, doing your hair. So it's great. It's
Wait,
really
what's
great.
the link? MadisonReed.com? I'm going to need this.
I think it's just called Madison Reed. I'm sure it's MadisonReed.com, but
I
it's
wonder
great.
if we can get a bulk discount because Sabrina's probably going to order like at least a couple hundred units. But yeah, your hair is very, very lovely. And I would dare say because of the because of the pandemic and all the work you've been doing, and you and your team, you guys have been working like so much and everything like that. You can probably at this point put the extensions aside for a couple weeks because.
I feel like Jason's trying to fast track his refund.
Thanks for that. Jason and Chris and Sabrina, thank you. Good morning. And you know what? I know you usually start off with like, how am I doing? And I wanted to just share. We've been very busy, as you know, and I think Jason kind of led into that. We've been really, really busy here at Reventex. We had our October 15 deadline. Just last week, we had the first drive-through drop-off that we've ever done, and I think that that was very successful, and we're planning on perhaps utilizing that format for other things that we do. And so that's really exciting. Obviously, we have a lot of programs running. We're still doing the Economic Impact Payment Program. And then we also have MNGUFA. And I wanted to make sure that I let people know that, we're still accepting MNGUFA applications online. So, if you fall within the $150,000 and below threshold, if you're married filing joint and you had not received an EIP because your dependent was between the ages of 17 to 23 or disabled of any age, then I suggest and recommend that you please apply online. You could go to myguamtax.com and apply online. The deadline to apply, by law, we had 30 business days from the time of implementation. We implemented on September 29, so the community has until November 12th to apply. So I strongly recommend and suggest to everybody to please apply. We've been processing applications. As of last week, we'd received almost 500 applications. We're targeting to try to run checks in this week. And so, that's going to be really exciting because I know for a lot of our people, again, who are really challenged, I think everybody's very challenged, including our team as we work to process. But, again, we recognize the importance of getting these out, and we really want to get these out to everyone. So, please file online if you have questions. I know Chris and Sabrina and Jason, very well, if you go to our myguamtax.com or guamtax.com website, you could find the COVID-19 section of our webpage has a lot of information, and all of the MNGUFA information that you need to know, our FAQs and things like that are there. So, I want to remind everybody again, we have only a little bit less than a month to go before the application period ends. And I don't want anybody who qualifies for MNGUFA or a due to MNGUFA to miss out on the opportunity to get paid the $500 per dependent that qualifies.
Could you kind of go over again the qualifications? So $150,000, that's the limit for joint filers?
Right. For married filing joint, it's $150,000. Actually, and for head of household, it's $112,500, and for single filers, it's $75,000. And so that's the eligibility threshold. You also, you of course couldn't have been paid already for your dependent. So, if I had a dependent who was at borderline and I was able to get paid an EIP payment for that dependent already through the regular EIP, I won't qualify. But if my dependent was again, because we do have some people that were like bridging 17, 18 or 16, 17, sorry, in 2018, 2019. So if you did not get an EIP because your dependent was over 16 years old, based on your return filing, then, you can qualify for this if you fall within the thresholds. So again, I highly recommend people to do it. We received, as of last week, about 500. We're proud to say that people have been doing it online, and we recommend for people to file online as much as they can. So then I believe it actually helps to expedite the process because we have it already. We don't have to process it. If you drop it in the Dropbox or mail it to us, we could also accept it. But if you file it online, it's just a little bit faster because we don't have to process it ourselves. You can also find the Aduda MNGUFA forms at our mayor's offices. And I want to thank Executive Director Angel Sablan and all of our mayors for their constant and honestly, their commitment to making sure that they help us to get out these applications to our community. They've been great just support for us. And so I want to thank our mayors, all of them, for just, for being so great about that. But you could find them in our mayor's offices, because I know there are some people who may not be able to access, I guess, a computer. You can find those forms at our mayor's offices. And if you have any questions, our Ajuda Mangafa information, our FAQ, does have all of the contact information. Or you can email us at mangafa@revtax.guam.gov. Sorry, Guam Mangafa. Mangafa@revtax.guam.gov.
How many checks are you looking to cut this week for the Mangafa program?
I'm sorry, Sabrina, I don't have that amount right now, but I know that our team has been, at least for the last week or so, trying to gear up to pay those. I'll provide that information to you as soon as I get it, but I know we did have about 500 applicants as of last week.
Well, when we spoke with DOA Director Edward Byrne, I want to say it was last week or 2 weeks ago, I asked him about the funding source because the priority was to use the CARES Act money. Is that the case, that we are still going to be using CARES Act money to fund the Mangafa?
You know, Sabrina, and that's something that I am not, that's the one part of Ajuda Mangafa that I actually don't, I'm not involved in determination of the funding source. Everything else in Ajuda Mangafa, probably we're involved in, but we don't generally. And so I actually rely heavily on Director Byrne and Director Carlson on that matter. I know from the time that it was being discussed at the legislature, I made sure that I provided the language to both BBMR and DOA, and again, we rely on them heavily on that. I can't say I don't know what the source of funding is going to be, but they are very aware of the language that's in the law.
Hey, Daph, just so people know, right? So you're saying if we got an economic impact payment and dependents weren't covered by that, with the EIP, it was, what was it, like $500 a dependent or something?
Right, and so it was $500 for dependent for EIP. It's the same for this as well. It's $500 for each dependent that qualifies.
Right.
So whether your dependent is 17 and 18 and not in college, or ages 19 to 23 and attending college, or attending college, whether they live on Guam or they live stateside or somewhere else in the world, they can qualify as long as you meet the eligibility criteria for the other eligibility criteria.
So we had a question: what if at the time of the pandemic, a dependent was 16 and turned maybe 17 between like March and now? Would that still be eligible? Would they still be eligible?
So the age criteria actually is going to be based on your return filing. So your 2019 or 2018 return, whichever is being utilized. And if you haven't filed a 2019 return, but you did file a 2018, we utilize that. If you have not filed it, and if you have filed a 2019, then we use the 2019. And that's all stated in our FAQ. So this is really based on either your 2019 or 2018 return and return information, and based on whatever has been filed.
Can you give an update on tax refunds?
Sure. Okay, so with regards to tax refunds, last week, Friday, we did process over $20 million. Last week, we processed over $23 million in refunds, and that brings us through April 17. We're working, of course, I'll tell you late last night, we're working with our team to make sure that we update our schedules and we continue to pay. My understanding is we're going to continue to pay on a weekly basis, just as we have been doing throughout since, I guess, early 2019. Very happy, that we were able to get those payments out. And we know, and I know that our people, are in dire need of monies. And so to be able to get those payments out to our people was very important. And our team worked, late into Friday and into the weekend to make sure that those payments were ready to be mailed out first thing, or as soon as as Treasurer of Guam is able to get those yesterday. So we're very happy to say that those payments are ready to, and I'm hoping that, whatever has been mailed out yesterday, people are already beginning to receive those.
Daph, we had a question here about the passport office. A guy's trying to schedule a passport renewal for a daughter. 3 weeks of calls every day, no answer, calling 4 times a day.
Okay.
Otherwise,
Okay.
Is there an email way to schedule a passport appointment, or is the passport office even open?
Our passport office is open. You can email christine.tadella@revtax.guam.gov. Or again, our customer service, we've been trying to actually have someone assist our current customer service who kind of serves as our customer service or customer call center supervisor. So we now have 2 people who have that role because, of course, the level of communication that we get is quite high, and and to that individual who has been calling, and I know we've had many people also who have communicated to me that they've had some challenges in getting response. Honestly, it's not for a lack of us not wanting to get back to you. The reality is it's been a little bit challenging for us to manage all of the emails and calls that we get. But if you email christine.tadella@revtax.guam.gov, or we have a new person, again, that is assisting us in monitoring the PIN admin at revtax.guam.gov. That's PIN ADMIN at revtax.guam.gov. We have 2 people monitoring PIN admin at revtax.guam.gov. That's for any type of general question, whether it's for passport or other items. And again, on the issue of passport and any other branches, you can email PIN admin. On the issue of passports, just like we have done with our EIP with our Mangafa applications, we've also worked with our mayors to make sure that there are passport applications at the mayor's offices as well. Again, we recognize that there are some people who may not be able to print out the forms, the ones that you could find online. So we have those out at the mayor's offices, and you can obtain them there. And again, thank you to the mayors because, again, through this whole pandemic, they've consistently supported our efforts to try to make sure that we get information out to the community. So for that individual, please email pinadmin@revtax.guam.gov, and thank you to him and to the whole community for your continued patience with us. And, we really appreciate it. We really are doing our best to serve.
Can you give us an update on DMV operations?
Absolutely. Just like all the other areas that we have, we're operating by appointment only. I think that, with regards to DMV operations in general, across the nation, even prior to the pandemic, we see these news on the long lines at the DMVs, again, throughout the nation. The pandemic or this, public health emergency that we have has definitely, caused a backlog of IDs and driver's license renewals and replacements. We're still working on, again, trying to get things to be done online as much as possible. But I do really highly recommend that for those individuals who have a driver's license already and are in need of a renewal or a replacement, that they, do it as much as possible through mail and Dropbox. We had a lot of questions about an increase from people who were going to be traveling to Hawaii, for medical purposes, and we're under the impression that they needed a real ID, compliant ID. I have actually communicated directly with TSA locally. We have the flyers, from TSA, which state that, of course, the real ID deadline was moved by the President of the United States. Under the direction of the President of the United States, U.S. Homeland Security did actually move that deadline to October 2021. So, for those individuals who are going to be traveling to the States, through Hawaii, of course, the real ID is not required. And of course, if you're going through a foreign country, the real ID is actually not accepted because you have to have a passport. So, for real IDs, so for renewals of non-real ID compliant IDs or replacements of those, you could do those by Dropbox or mail. For those people who have already taken the permit test taken the written exam and just needed a permit, you could do that by mail. For a conversion of an intermediate to a full license, you could do that by mail and Dropbox too. We're working again to expand. I've been a little bit kind of distracted with other projects, but our team this week is really being tasked with, and I'm excited that we'll likely be launching some additional items that you can do through Dropbox and mail, and hopefully very, very soon in the near future, hopefully be doing them online. But again, we recommend as much as possible, be done by Dropbox and mail. A driver's license is driver's license and vehicle registrations. Actually, driver's license is probably the highest, the number one item that people email and call us about. As you know, I believe people have been having some challenges in trying to make appointments online because already the schedule is going beyond March. We're working to address that. We're also working to try to identify, in addition to the forms, additional mechanisms for trying to get people their driver's licenses and their Guam IDs. And, I expect that we'll be able to share that with the community very soon. I just want to share, Chris and Sabrina and Jason, this is actually, we have so many branches. We have 18 to 20 branches here. Everything that we do, there's somebody that is in need of a service, whether it's a business license or, pay their BPT or file it, or to get a driver's license, or to get their vehicle registered, or to get a title or something. We recognize that there are so many people that are in need, and we're going to do our best to support that. I actually, on a very kind of I actually work directly with our team members on the different initiatives that we have, and it's very important to.
No. You froze, Daph. Are you there? There you are. Okay.
Okay.
I'm so sorry about that if I froze. Please excuse me, because you know what? I use my personal equipment, so I'm hotspotting myself to my little laptop here.
Can we get an update on the positive case? You had an employee that tested positive?
Sure. And it's been a little bit, obviously we have an agency of almost 200 people. And, with the rise in cases, I think that it was just a matter of time before we had kind of a reportable case. And, we've actually, and in the JIC media release, you'll notice it is indicated that we do have kind of like what we call a bubbling schedule. It's not like bubbles in the sense that I know that the NFL is doing, where they isolate their team and they're, staying in a hotel or something like that. No, but we do have alternating work schedules, which we call bubbles. And how it works is we have basically split our agency in half. Every single branch is split basically in half. And so that way we can make sure that there's continuity of service in the event that there is exposure, whether it's actual or potential exposure. And so, I've been talking with my team because actually the particular case that was indicated in the JIC was something that I wasn't aware of until late in the weekend, when it was found that that there was an individual that was identified as positive, and most especially because the individual was at the office. Of course, we made sure that we contacted public health. We have been definitely in communication with Director San Augustine, who I want to congratulate as well on his confirmation. But he's a really great colleague. But also with the head of environmental health to make sure that the measures that we take are appropriate. Public health, as you know, is very challenged with trying to do contact tracing. I know they went from 6 to like 46 contact tracers, but they're still, I think, in need of many more. So what we have done, and what I'm proud of our team is, and I did share with Chris, I'm proud of the fact that I believe that our team has been pretty proactive in terms of implementing procedures and measures to make sure that our people are safe. Even prior to the public health guideline, which required that every individual who comes into an agency signs in and that there's documentation on who signs in, we actually implemented, even prior to that, a check-in process where every person in our agency who came in had to already sign in. So, I feel like we've been pretty proactive. So in terms of what's going on with the individual, my understanding is, of course, they are quarantining. And also we have worked under the guidance of public health to determine or to work on contact tracing ourselves within our agency. Now, what happens in terms of contact tracing outside, that's, beyond us. Our focus, of course, is making sure that our people, our customers, anybody who within our agency has come into contact with somebody who, again, is either potentially positive or either has potential or actual exposure. Those are our focus. I wanted to share that I did share with Chris the public health guidance that I got on patients, which has been very useful for us. Although that public health guidance does talk about patients and if you get swabbed, I've told my team that, based on my discussions with public health, that there's, and I'm a numbers girl, so there's two numbers that I told my team that we really need to pay attention to. And that's the number 15 and the number 6. And, and so as a guide, if you look at the patient's guidance, the one I sent to you, Chris, if you are with somebody who is positive and you're with them for more than 15 minutes and you're within 6 feet of them, then that, as per the guidance, you're considered high to medium risk. Now, so, again, with regards to our team and as well as we've communicated with public health, we're utilizing that as a guide. I know that I think that, there's so much information and, of course, the 3 W's are the things that we have been trying to make sure that we continue to follow, which is wash your hands, watch your distance, and wear your mask. But beyond that, we are now getting into the point and position, I think all of us, where we need to know what to do beyond that, because even if we wash our hands and we watch our distance and we wear our mask, there's still, because of the number of cases, a huge, possibility that, as you work, even in your office or studio, I know you may have had a challenge a few months ago, or when you go to the post office or go to the grocery store, that you're going to come into contact with somebody, or even if you go to the bathroom, I think, in an agency or a public place or wherever, there's always that fear. So I've talked with my team and we made sure that, again, we drive into our thoughts and minds and perhaps drill that 15 and 6 are really important numbers. And again, the guide is if you have been with or around somebody who is positive or potentially positive for 15 minutes and 6 feet, then, that's, again, the determination factor in where we go from there. We have already, to go back to your question, Sabrina, we, again, like I mentioned, we did do our own internal contact tracing under the guidance of public health. We have worked to identify, any potential individuals who may have come in contact with this individual. And we're making sure that, we made sure that prior to our anybody in our agency coming into the office, that we did do, sanitizing of our areas so that we, again, ensure that our people are safe.
How many people were identified as a close contact?
In terms of the close contact, in terms of the 15 and the 6, we identified really just the one. So again, what we did, and this is why it's so critical that we have, our check-in station and we have log people in. So we've identified really just from the guide of 15 and 6, we've identified the one, and we've already made sure that that person, has been is also following the public health guidelines, that they are quarantining as well, and that, they are, making sure that they are safe and monitoring their symptoms.
Daph, we just had another question in here. Are there penalties for expired vehicle registration?
I believe that we moved the deadline for vehicle registrations. I think that, and excuse me for not knowing it off the top of my head, but I'd like to say that we had extended through either November or December so that we do not, we don't penalize you. But, of course, within reason. Now, there are actually some cars out there who have expired vehicle registrations that are expired from like March 2019. I think that that's not necessarily reasonable in terms of, working to try to get a registration.
Right. What if what if our registration expires like October, November, December?
I believe that I believe our new guidance in Volume 8 does indicate that I think we expanded it from like March 2020 to I think it was October or November. So and you know what, we're thanks, Chris, for that question, because we're continuing to make sure that we recognize that, again, on one side, we're these enforcement people, nobody likes the taxman or the people that are coming to try to enforce. But on the other side, of course, we recognize that, we also have to have compassion for people, especially at this time. And we're doing our best to try to balance that. And I believe that our team has done a good job, at that, and I'm proud of them for that. So if you have a expired vehicle registration, it expired in this month. I believe that we had extended it through November or December. And if it's not December, then again, as we progress through this public health emergency and we determine that we're not, if we're not able to get people as they need to come in and to register or to get their driver's licenses done, then we have been making adjustments accordingly.
We had another comment here. Where do we turn in GRT?
Okay, so for GRT, you could file
You like
GRT
that, right?
online.
How do we give you money? Oh, okay. I know how to do that.
Hey, you know what? We never turn away money.
Yeah.
We take the money first and we'll ask you later. But so for GRT, you could file and pay online. You could also go to the Treasurer of Guam at ITC building. They are open. And then you can also drop payments by check at our Dropbox. And if you go to our volume 8, you will be able to find all the mechanisms for being able to make payments to us for the different areas, whether it's GRT, income tax, collections. You could again, at Treasurer of Guam, you could actually pay an outstanding tax due. So we have a collections person there. I thank Director Byrne for accommodating us so that we can make sure that we are available to the public.
Thank you, Daph. I think we got to go. Anything in closing here? Can you give out the phone numbers as people keep asking what numbers? So for just the respective divisions, if you can.
Well, so our customer call center is 635-1840-414257. You can email us at pinadmin@revtax.guam.gov. I just want to say thank you again to you, Jason, Sabrina with great hair, Chris, and KUAM for really honestly, working to help us to get out the information that's required. I can't thank you enough. I know what you do is so important. And again, please everybody stay safe. And, if you need us, we're here. I promise you, we're going to do our best to work to respond to you. It may take some time, but we are doing our best to do that. And we're here to serve our people. And again, want to thank everybody in the community for continuing to be patient. We promise that we're here for you and we're going to continue to do so. All right, but have a great day and stay safe, Guam. Stay safe, everybody.
Thank you, Daph. Be safe. Wash your hands.
Hagumas.
Oh, we actually have some virtual. What is it today, Jay? What'd you make?
Pumpkin turnover.
Oh, we have some virtual pumpkin turnover. Yeah, it's in there in the KUM News Zoom room if you guys want. Hey, it's 8 o'clock. Wow, it's October. Whoa, dude, it's October. The 20th day of October. Yeah, it's crazy, right? Oh my God. We're KUAM. Oh my God. We're KUAM FM in Agatnia, Guam. This is the link on the Breeze 93.9. It's all proudly brought to you by Carrier, Calvo Enterprises, ITD, and the Thrive Coalition. Hey, to our viewers on KUAM TV, thank you guys so much for joining us. All right, we have a great day full of awesome programming on KUAM TV, but it's bye-bye now for the link. So jump over to our KUAM News Facebook feed. You can catch it on the radio the old-fashioned way. We've got an audio stream on, I think, Docomo Channel 10. We're streaming at KUAM.com and the KUAM News app. And we're back with the Thrive Coalition here. Next, also on the way, we've got Jenna Gamindi Blas, who's the Acting Civil Defense Administrator, talking about securing another isolation facility for the government of Guam. As we heard from Public Health yesterday, that the ISOFAC pretty much full. They do have a few dirty rooms that need to be sanitized. So hopefully Jen will be able to get us to the bottom of that situation. And then 9:30, we're going in with Public Health, Environmental Health Division, Mary Lou Scroggs. She's the Environmental Public Health Officer Administrator. And we'll be talking about businesses, restaurants. Are they following the protocol? So there's a whole lot more. Miss a link, miss a lot, so don't miss it. Let's jump over to the radio, the KUAM News Facebook live feed. To our viewers on KUAM TV, my name is Chris.
I'm Sabrina.
Está. Adios.
Bye.
Just like that. I got to take a break, though. After all that talking. Oh, man, break, Naza. 8:03, we're back with more of The Link on the Breeze next. Good morning, Guam.
GU Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's. We offer affordable rates, online payments, and auto bill pay for your convenience. Plus gate access daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information.
Celebrate National Pizza Month with the Pepsi Pizza Report. Pepsi helps celebrate this tasty month with an easy way for you to win Pepsi and pizza. Post a photo of yourself enjoying your favorite Pepsi beverage to KOAM News or Uno Instagram or Facebook pages to enter to win Pepsi and pizza from one of our pizza sponsors. Catch the Pepsi Pizza Report every Thursday on KOAM News' The Link Morning Show and on the social media pages of KOAM News for reports, tastings, and everything pizza and Pepsi. The holidays are almost here, and we could all use an extra dose of cheer and joy this year. So, we're breaking the rules and giving you a holiday head start on Breeze 93.9 FM. Throughout the months of October and November, listen to the special holiday head start blocks of all the season's favorites from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. and again from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Let's try to make spirits bright and make this the most wonderful time of the year. Happy holidays from Breeze.
Pepsi Guam Bottling, a local company. We produce your favorite products right here on island, like Pepsi, Mountain Dew, Hanum, Chamorro Punch, Tropical Ice, and more. We've invested millions into local production and will continue to upgrade our facilities and provide local jobs so you can truly buy local. Our long history of producing the freshest and best products will continue. This is our vision. Pepsi Guam Bottling.
The Christmas Pops Virtual Holiday Shopping Fair is coming on Sunday, November 29th. It's the third annual Christmas Pops event with local artisans, crafters, and businesses in a reimagined and safe way for you to shop. As many small businesses struggle to survive, the call to buy local is greater than ever. To learn more and participate in this one-of-a-kind multimedia marketplace event on the stations and digital platforms of KOAM Communications, bringing together the island's biggest array of local vendors, email bettyann@koam.com or visit koam.com.
Your generosity can change lives. Disasters won't stop during this global pandemic, so neither will we. The Guam chapter of the American Red Cross is calling on the continued support of the community to assist with their mission of providing disaster relief and recovery efforts, military family support, and life-saving training and certifications. In times of emergency, our support will not waver, and we pray that your support of our efforts will continue as well. We invite you to join us in commemorating our 20th annual signature fundraiser virtually this year by supporting the Red Ball in a Box. We will be delivering special red boxes, which include a 4-course dinner from Micronesian Chefs Association and wine to our patrons and sponsors. As a sponsor, your company and message will also be featured in a special television tribute to the Guam chapter of the American Red Cross. For sponsorship opportunities and more information, please call 688-0280 or visit our Instagram or Facebook page. Let's support our community. Though we're apart, we're still together in generosity and support.
Think about it. This is the 36th anniversary of October named as Breast Cancer Awareness Month. The KOAM Care Force encourages you to think pink this October with our social media presentation, Pink About It, on October 22nd, and our KOAM News 5-part series, Awareness is Power, airing from the 19th to the 23rd, featuring a few incredible cancer warriors and the importance of screening and managing this disease. Think Pink is brought to you by Island Cancer Center.
We got your 6.
At 6 a.m. with The Link on Breeze 93.9 FM. Bree and I connect you with all the latest news and information you need to know to start your day.
Then check back with Guam's news leader at 6 p.m. for the day's top headlines with KUAM News Primetime.
From 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and everything else in between with KUAM Digital, we got your 6.
son Then he must be good and in Nasinya who fresh in my saddle Araba protect then defend it Hinengi cultura lenguaje Airi hano Zanitano tamoru yes Zanitano tamoru yes Ire shaku la 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 Did it to get into stop that 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 It's the who what been my Ihilo Zani Biblia Ibandera Mohan yes Ibandera Mohan yes
Chamorro Pride.
Yes Ibandera
Everyone else here cool too, but Chamorros are the best. 809. That's Zach Lujan. That's Jack with a G, not Jack with a J. Out of Washington States.
Love it.
Yeah, it's in a Fressy. He came out, man, when I was way back in the days. I actually played a version of this in this studio. Yeah, that's cool. Isn't that cool?
That's so cool.
And I think he's just got the one album. It's a really good album. If you guys, I don't know where you're gonna find it. I don't even know if it's on the things where you get it.
It's not on YouTube.
It's some. There's a video of the performance he did here on YouTube. But again, it's like a EP. He did Tracks of My Tears, which we play sometimes on Sundays here. That's In a Fressy, the band version. It's cool. It's 811. The show proudly brought to you by the Thrive Coalition, where it takes a village to raise healthy and drug-free youth. Come on and thrive with us. And our segment guests this morning.
Thrive, a
we have,
coalition
what do
for
you say,
drug-free
Bree? The whole
Dedido is
entire
an active
Dedido
partnership
precinct?
of community members and leaders committed
The
to
whole
a
entire
vibrant,
Dedido
resilient,
precinct.
and
It's a part of
empowered
Project
Dedido.
Youth.
It takes
And
a
Project
village
Youth
to
is under
raise
the Guam Police
healthy and
Department's
drug-free
Safe
youth.
Schools
Thrive
initiative.
with
So
us.
We'll find
Find
out
us
what Project
online.
Youth is doing, and I'm pretty sure they're still doing a lot, even though we're not having school right now. And so we have in the KUAM News Zoom room here. You guys, there was some virtual pumpkin turnover. Was it Buchi or baked?
Oh, it was totally baked.
Totally baked.
With the cinnamon, too.
Right, with the cinnamon. You can't even taste the weed. But guys can grab you guys some of that virtual right in there. It's good stuff. And let's get into it here. We have Sergeant Maggie Napati, who's on the Zoom feed. She's in the upper right-hand corner. And then we also have, let's see, PO2, Jason Kittigwa, he's in the upper right-hand corner. And then we'll go down under Sergeant Maggie. We have PO3, Eric Asanoma. And then in the bottom left corner, we have Police Officer 1, Janine Terlahi. So good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Unmute.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Felt like roll call.
I know. Asanoma! Where are you at, Asanoma? Asanoma, are you here?
I think we do.
All right.
Sound up!
Let's go. Okay, so Project
Give me
Youth,
that.
GBD Safe Schools Initiative. I know during a normal time, right, pre-COVID, God, it seems like so long ago. What kind of work did you guys do in the schools here as part of Project U and the Safe Schools Initiative?
Well, Project U is very new to the Guam Police Department. It's something that we've been working on during this pandemic, but we have a lot of good things in store for our youth and the community.
So tell us about Project U then. You said it was fairly new.
So Project U is under GPD's Safe Schools Initiative. Project U, it expands the concept of safe schools from the confines of a traditional school campus outwards into the community. And it works to create safer communities, therefore creating safer learning environments for all students, whether it's face-to-face, online, or home-based. Especially during these times of limited social interaction and distant learning, we want to be there where they are, and that's out in the community and online.
Mm-hmm. So tell us, how do you interact then with these students if if there's limited social interaction?
Well, this project is driven by 3 objectives: community education, crime enforcement, and our social media campaign. And through these objectives, we want to create meaningful conversations with our youth. We want to remain accessible to them, strengthen our relationship with them and the community as a whole.
What's it like keeping up with these kids and catching up with them when we're all just so scattered because of the COVID, right? It's not like they can come to one area. So how's that outreach? Is social media a big part of that, guys?
Yes, so the community education will be rolled out predominantly on social media platforms, on popular social media websites such as Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and video streaming websites such as YouTube.
Let's just take it to Officer Asanoma now. Officer, when you go out, right, and you're doing your patrols and you're seeing the kids out there, what are some of the kids saying to you guys, as we're in this PCOR 1 lockdown? What's some of the things that you're hearing from the youth?
Well, we like Sergeant Maggie said, this is really a new initiative for us at the Juvenile Investigation Section. And but going off of the pre-COVID days, right, we do enforcement. Most of our enforcement would be catered to trying to enforce what we call statutory crimes, which would be crimes that are only committed by minors, and those are usually committed by the nighttime. So our nighttime enforcement is where we get our interaction pre-COVID.
And so what are some of the crimes we're seeing amongst our youth during this pandemic? Have we seen an increase in juvenile crimes? Anyone?
The main crimes usually, if anything, are just the curfew violations. Some minors that are found outside of their residence elsewhere, late hours in the evening. Those are one of the main ones that we usually encounter.
Officer, when you encounter that, what do these kids say to you? I mean, do their parents know, or the parents don't care? Absentee parents, or are the kids just being kids?
So, some of the parents don't even know it's a lot of the kids sneak out. So when we do bring the kids back, the parents are just waking up, and we're informing them just to be aware, educating them.
Well, I personally feel through several interactions, right? And part of Project Q is community education. And a lot of times, sometimes the parents don't really know their boundaries as far as how they can discipline their children. And so you will see what happens is sometimes the children kind of use the police against the parents, and the parents are scared to discipline their children. And so they don't really know the boundaries. So the children kind of run the household. And we hope to kind of curb that and change that through community education.
What are the boundaries then?
Well, that's something we go with within the law of child abuse and assault and things of that nature.
Officer, let's say like you guys out there, you bring, one of my kids back to me. They were out all night. I had no idea. Am I allowed to like grab them by the ear and pull them into the house, or is that child abuse?
Definitely not, especially in our presence. We don't condone that type of discipline. We do really stress education on the parents and being aware of where their children are. And sometimes we do find that youth tend to lean on other family members or family friends to say, well, I'm going to spend the night there, and then come to find out they've been out and about late evening hours, early morning hours. And it's just really bringing this education to them, working with the community, working with parents, working with youth to, let them know that one, we're out there, two, what the law is, and three, if we all work together to help curb status offenses such as curfew violation, underage drinking, then we can have a safer community for our youth.
Janine, how many?
And going off of,
go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No.
Oh, going off of community education. So what we're planning to do is utilize Cyber Safety Pacifica brochures to help launch our Project U, and also advertisements involving Cyber Safety Pacifica. So those brochures will include like staying safe, young people in technology, more about the law, and it will be handed out to the public.
Just going back to these curfew violations, how much of it do you think is just kids who have a home environment that they don't want to be in, whether it's from abuse or drugs or just, domestics?
That's the instances where we create conversations with our youth. We want to be a resource to them. We want to remain accessible to them, to hear their concerns and really get to the root of the problem so that we could help resolve whatever they're experiencing, either at home, school, out in the community.
So how's this going to work? When do you guys roll out this program?
We're going to be rolling this program out to the community in the next couple of weeks. We've been working at our shop very hard. I have a really solid team that have putting together PSAs, videos, social media bursts that are going to be seen very soon.
Is this
We're
going
very
to
excited.
Is this going to be on the Thrive Coalition's Facebook or Project U? Where do we go to find out more?
We're going to be activating our social media accounts. We've also partnered with the Thrive Coalition. We're working alongside them. This project also aligns with existing programs like Detective Terlahi mentioned, Cyber Safety Pacifica. It's an awesome program. It speaks to several audiences, students, teachers, parents, the general public on ways to stay safe online. And that's where our youth are right now. They're out in the community. They're out. They're online. School is home now, and home is school. So we want to be there with them, for them.
What about cyberbullying? Is that part of you guys? Is one of the things that you guys are tackling?
Yes, most definitely. And Cyber Safety Pacifica has a really important component embedded in that curriculum.
Well, tell us a little bit more about it.
Cyber Safety Pacifica, CSP, is a partner program between the Pacific Islands Chief of Police and the Australian Federal Police, and it focuses on education and awareness to protect our young people and for vulnerable communities.
What are some of the things you hear from the kids, or maybe even parents, about cyberbullying? How bad is it on Guam?
Right now, I do not have the numbers to say what exactly the stats are, but I could tell you that it's there. It's present. It's in our community. It's online. And myself, my team, we really invest a lot in education so that we could mitigate these issues. We could prevent these issues, deter it, and give the proper education to our youth to let them know that. Let them know what the consequences are. Let them know how it affects them, how it affects others, how it affects their families, their schools, their community.
Right. I wish a program like this would have been around earlier, because there's definitely a lot of adults who cyberbully on Guam, and had they been reached with this crucial information at a young age, maybe it could have made a difference. And so how important is the work you guys are doing in reaching these kids before they kind of age out of that phase where you can really touch their minds and guide them in the right direction?
Agreed. The work that we do at the juvenile investigation sections, even over at the community affairs office, is very important. A large part of crime prevention is the starting point to it, and that is educating the community, educating the individual unit. And Project U, it was developed just for this. Our catchphrase is "Safe School Starts With You," because it really does start with the individual unit. And we want to send a message out to the community that it starts with every single one of us. We create a safer community. We can create safer learning environments and really help our youth thrive.
Mm-hmm. What about how are you going to be able to reach out to youth out there that don't have technology, don't have social media, don't do the Facebooks and the Instagrams, and
don't have internet,
TikToks and things like that? Yeah.
Well, that's the beautiful thing about this project is because we're well versed in creating, mechanisms so that we could reach different audiences, whether or not they have online access. We're going to be out in the community. We're going to be doing crime enforcement, and during our crime enforcement, we not only enforce the crime, but we also educate. We make contact with them. If we see them out at public parks, even before curfew hours, we stop them, or sometimes they stop us, and we create these conversations with them. It doesn't even have to be about the law. It could be about anything. Most times we talk about sports. I tend to talk about sports, and I know the other detectives do too.
Well, I miss sports. What's it like, though, if we could go down the line to the different officers in the Zoom room, what's it like, though, when you reach that child and you make that difference and you can see that positive impact and, that turnaround from maybe they're heading down the right path to maybe something you said, something you did? A lot of times for the kids, it's as simple as knowing that people care about them. And a lot of times maybe the families don't care. So when you have, an officer with the police department taking time out to kind of show these kids like, man, we give a damn about where you're heading and we want to do something about it. What's it like when you see the results?
It's so rewarding to see. And I know that Detective Terlahi has a very, very awesome story about a recent encounter that we had with one of our at-risk youth. But the first time I realized that I had a really large impact in helping to shape and mold and educate our youth is years back. I was assigned to the juvenile investigation section, and I was entertaining numerous complaints from a parent that was basically at wit's end with her daughter, and was always sneaking out, drinking alcohol, smoking cigarettes, and I kept at it. It was consistency. I kept in touch with her. I continued to educate her on the dangers of using alcohol, drugs, tobacco, how to make positive decisions, critical thinking. And it kind of went over time, and I stopped hearing from her. I was outside of Hagåtña precinct, and I saw a crowd of people run by, and somebody tapped me on my shoulder. I looked back, and it was her. She was in a Marines PT uniform, and she thanked me. She thanked me for helping to guide her in the right direction, and it was a large part because of me that she joined the Marines. And I was so proud. I was so proud of not of myself, but the good work that the Guam Police Department does to help these youth make better choices, prepare them for life.
Detective Terlahi, can you share the story that Sergeant Napati told us about?
Well, it's involving a female minor. I took her into custody, and she ended up going to DYA. But before that, I understood her story. She's not a bad person at all. There's just some things that she went through that I had to understand, and just to see where she's come from. And by that, she was, at the end, it left her with tears, and she was finally heard. And that's what she said. So when I did transport her to the DYA, she did hug me, and she told me, she asked me if I can visit her there, and I continue to do so. So it's rewarding. It's a good feeling when they can finally go to someone that they can trust and just be heard.
Officer Asanoma, Officer Kitagwa, any similar stories you guys can share? Because I know that so often we see a lot of guys doing the youth mentoring. So what do you got?
Chris, I'm glad you asked that question, and that's a very good question because a lot of people, they're raised up, or they have this idea in their head, right, that the police officers are out there to get people and put people in jail. And that's, although that is a small part of what we do as police officers, helping the community and these success stories that you hear and that we see, that's part of what a lot of our police officers in the department, we go to work for. That's what we live for. Is because we don't want to cram our prisons with criminals or convicts, right? It'd be much better if we can help prevent them from reaching that state in the first place, and being a contributing citizen, right, to the community. But that I really like that question, because really a lot of the officers in the juvenile investigation section, when we do go and pick up minors that do curfew violations, and just to add on an earlier question that you asked, there have been minors that we get all sorts of crimes from simple beyond controls, just not listening to their parents, to breaking into houses, breaking into cars, stealing cars, using stolen cars, and we might even be seeing, I don't have the information on hand to back it up or anything, but I could say that we have seen instances of drug use, to include Schedule 2 from minors as admitted to us. And we do want to help these people. We do want to help kids not go into that life of crime.